Why do you have those funny pictures of Leon on the screen? I don't know what that was about. Hello, everyone. Oh, loads of messages, loads of people. Hello, everyone. Yes, missed you on Sunday. I'm really surprised how much I missed it. Why's the camera stuck again? Why does the camera keep doing that, do you reckon, boys? Any ideas?
No idea.
No idea. I'll have to keep an eye out on that one. Let me know if you can hear me okay as well.
It's so dark.
Let's look in the comments. People can hear my voice. Anyone checking Mars out tonight before program starts? Ooh, what's happening with Mars?
It's like there's some thing that's going to be really red.
Oh, it's the red Mars tonight, is it?
Is it?
Well, if anyone... Come on. Are you plugged in yet?
I can't
Leon?
find it. It's so dark. I can't see a thing. I want to see
Oh,
it.
lots of good comments. You have a check on the You have a chat amongst yourselves a minute. Hi, Steve. Benny Babbles, I need to speak to you. Good to see everyone say hello to each other. Very funny. Is this live tonight? Yes, it is live, Dean. Yes, hopefully it's live. Oh, all right, we got the high-speed connection.
Can I
So
check Mars?
hopefully. You want to look for Mars? You're off as well, are you? All right, excellent. My own son's off.
Okay.
Does everyone just want to go outside for 5 minutes, check for Mars? See which direction it is, Leon? Perhaps I can see out the window. Perhaps I'll move the camera and everyone can watch it as part of the broadcast. Even the producers got to see Mars. Oh, there goes another sun, so I can't compete with that, can I? David Mosley, all the way from... Oh, I'm not sure. Yeah, he's back in Germany, aren't you? Guten Abend, David. Wie geht's? Alles gut, yeah? Hang on. They've left the door open, of course. What?
I can see Mars.
Excellent. All right. Boys, very excited they can see Mars.
It's in the sky.
Is it red?
Oh, I can't really tell. It's tiny.
Okay, excellent. Everyone saying hello to each other. Who else we got there? Les, hello Les, good to see you. Ella, I know there's other people watching who can't log in. So hello to all those people, and sorry again for not being around on Sunday. But it was for the most excellent of reasons, as you'll see in a minute. Slight buffering, says Steve. Uh-oh. Check out Jupiter and Saturn. Hey, Ella's added Jupiter to the... So we got Mars, Jupiter and Saturn. Yeah, I think it's... Yeah, the next few days are all going to line up, aren't they? Which could have some interesting effects. I mean, some people have said to me... I mean, it's a bit higher. So I can't move the camera so easy on a notebook, so I've looked a bit low, don't I? There we go. Oh, that's not very comfortable, but there we are. At least you can see me a bit better now. Right, Mars effect has got me buffering, yes. I will blame Mars. Hey, Paul. Paul Hartel. Excellent. Yes, so... I tell you what, people are logging in, give them a little chance to catch up. I hope... Oh, we're up to 38 already. Oh, everyone's used there. Brilliant. Brightest thing in the east right now. Sorry, Ross. Everyone's off to watch the planets. Look at which way is east? Which direction is it?
Oh, it's that direction.
Oh, it's that way. I could probably see it out the window. I should just shut the window. Anyway, everyone's got a sky. Everyone can see their own... Look into their own sky. Brightest thing in the east sky... right now. Oh my goodness. It's really bright.
Yeah, there's trees in the way.
There's trees in the way. I'm going to go outside. I'll see at the end of the show. It'll still be there in an hour and a half. Will it still be there in an hour and a half? Do you know? Guten Abend. Buenos Tardes. Mars, Jupiter and Saturn on CADW. What is going on? A celestial drama. Wow. Well, if there's anybody still here who hasn't gone out to have a look, we've got so much to pack in. I don't know where to start. I was going to do my grand history of everything,
There you go.
which is a bit... so there's a modest claim for you, isn't it? Right back to how Earth was formed, right up to how that ties in with the migrations, Great Flood, all sorts of things. Why the mounds match the stars, the whole lot. But it's big, and I need to do a bit more practice. So I don't do the whole thing live, because I've been trying to put the presentation together for months. And it's one of those ones where you keep fiddling with it, and you're just going to go for it live. So I'll probably be full of mistakes. But I'm going to save that for Sunday, because more urgent things have come up, which I really want to do. So I've got a list of things. I'm going to crack on. The first one is, as some of you already know, the reason I was not here on Sunday was I got a call. It was actually a couple of weeks ago, saying I need to go up and look after Alan Wilson. The great man, as we call him, TGM, going vowed, because Barham had to go away and he needs caring for. And obviously it's a complicated situation because Alan is 88 years old, so obviously his current environment. He's potentially vulnerable. So I had to go into isolation for 2 weeks. And didn't see anybody or go out. I had to make sure I was safe and I was fully fit and I didn't have any colds and all that kind of stuff. So I was in top condition. So was he. And I was up there for a few days because Barham had to go away. He's got an elderly mother as well and things he had to do. And I know he doesn't get... What is that? Sorry, I'm getting a bit of buffering. Oh, well, carry on. Anyway, he doesn't get anything like the credit he deserves because he does a fantastic job both in writing and keeping Alan going, keeping both of them going, really. So I was up there. It all went brilliantly, and I've got some great video of Alan talking, which I'm sure people will enjoy that, which I'll be putting up in the next few days or maybe on Sunday. I haven't had a chance to drop it into tonight's thing, but trust me, he's on great form. He's shown his age a little bit, let's be fair, he's almost 90, but his wit, his humour, and his absolute genius and insight is still there. So once you warm him up, he's great. And he's got some messages. He sent a thank you to Britain's Hidden History group. What else? Oh yeah, I took the computers up, so they're set up. We had a bit of trouble with the internet. They need to get a new router, so hopefully they'll get that and they'll be online. And I want to get them more engaged, because I think that's the key, especially with Alan. He is socially isolated anyway, regardless of what's going on with COVID and all that. And he's a person who thrives on people and contact and that kind of thing. So anyway, all the chat. Although Patrick Jones as well, right? All the chat is going on. Yes, Alan is doing great. And we had a great time. And, I was going to load up the picture. Sometimes I've swapped computers now and always causes problems. One of the things we watched was, if you're on the Facebook group, you'll know I set a question yesterday, I think it was. There was a black and white movie, film I prefer.
20 seconds lag.
20 seconds lag, oh well.
I think it's more than 20 seconds.
Okay, thanks, I can't do much about that. Anyway, and trying to get him off the Blinking News channel and all that, and we watched one of the old films, which just happened to be on, and it was an Arthurian film, and it was old, black and white, and it was kind of corny and all that kind of stuff, and the armour's wrong, and everything was wrong, but it's good fun. And what was striking about it, though, was that King Arthur had a Welsh flag. I mean, it wasn't exactly like you see it on a rugby match, but, you know, the full dragon, the 4 feet, all that kind of stuff. And I couldn't remember the name of the film when I came back, so I set a little challenge. And I am going to hold it back. I'll hold it back till Sunday. So I want to put the picture on screen and say who can spot the film, because a couple of people in the group did get it right. I want to give them the credit. Anyway, what's going to be in tonight? We have got, I hope everyone watched Jim Michael's video. I want to say a little bit about that, which is the one at Lee Pennington. Thank you very much, Lee. He might be online. I haven't seen his name yet, but he always watches these. Maybe tomorrow. He's been producing films. I want to say that this Britain's Hidden History project, the name might be new, but the project's been going on since the 70s or 80s. We're just the last, well, not the last, but the latest step on the long road. So, excuse me. So we got, I also want to thank Robert Steele, who is an archaeologist, and he works for Museum of London. And he sent me loads of stuff on how LiDAR works, the procedures and all that. And again, it's going to have to wait for another video, unfortunately. It's very interesting. One thing I do want to talk about is Goedd, which I always say wrong, which is the game that Arthur was playing on the top of St. Kenneth Hill when they're talking about the stars and all that kind of thing. Carry on, Camelot. See, it started already. Look, the comments. I'll give a few more clues. All right, the film was 1950s and black and white, which is very unusual when you think about it. That was a big clue. Not many films still black and white in the 1950s, and there was a reason for that.
You said you took some pictures and videos of Mars on it.
Oh, Mummy's taking some pictures of Mars on here. What do you want to do with it? Put them on the show?
Yeah.
Well, everyone's got a window. They can all look outside. If it's very cloudy where you are and you can't see the sky, let me know and I will put some pictures up at the end, okay? All right, thank you very much. Thank you, Savvy. Right, okay. Right, okay, so that was that. I'll come on to that in a second. Big news, which I'm going to do first. The last thing I'm going to talk about then is... Yeah, this one's first, I think. Is the Odyssey the Egyptian Odyssey, because that book's almost done as well. But first things first, now everyone's had a chance to catch up and log in, and we're doing pretty good for Thursday night, because it's usually a Sunday. And I want to spoil everything for Sundays, because there are people who come every week. Right, I'm just going to say, before I start, because I'm getting distracted by the comments, which are really interesting. So Ella tells me Mercury's in retrograde.
It's cloudy in Croydon.
It's cloudy in Croydon. Well, I'll show you the sky in a minute, because it's never cloudy in Wales. It's one of the great things of living here. The non-stop sunshine and cloudless skies.
Yeah, I think today's opposite day.
Today's the opposite, thanks, Leon. Yeah, so the great Alan Wilson is fantastic. Thank you for John. Sorry, right. The planets. Do my head in.
What happened there? You know, last time you told me about like the film where it showed way too much fins. When the pipe only showed too much fins through.
Yeah, there wasn't much going through. It was just a normal live. I hadn't noticed that at all.
There's like 120 thingamajig.
What?
With like important tons.
So why isn't it starting now?
22 frames per second or something.
Can you refresh, please, and see if there's a new thing coming up? Scroll down. Live now.
This is the other one.
No, it said live now, didn't it? That's now.
Oh!
I think. Was it?
Yeah, that's now. Yeah, it's now. Lots of people watching.
You sure it's on now?
Yeah, it is. It just said refresh.
Yeah, but can you hear what I'm saying on through the headphones?
Yeah.
Oh, right. We are live.
So then stop.
Well, that's weird, because I can't see anything.
So many comments.
And there's loads of comments. I've got no live chat, nothing on mine.
Because you're on the side of the new stream, don't destroy that one just in case it destroys the actual stream itself.
Yeah, but that's the old stream, isn't it?
No, it's the new stream.
Oh, okay. All right, well, I'll just carry on. Let's just give people a couple of minutes. I'll do a lightning fast recap, because I'll delete the other one. I won't go through the whole thing. So I talked about the visit. Be more stuff. Mr. Noisy there. And we have more videos. Can't really close the door either. Right. So got some brand new videos from Alan Wilson, which I'll be posting during the week or on Sunday. So they're fantastic. I've also got some new notes and new research through from him. So that's all good. The LiDAR stuff, Robert Steele, who's an archaeologist, and sent me all that, how all that works. We had a lot of questions about it. I think that's going to be pushed back to another show. I am going to talk about Goethboeth. I think I've said that right. I always get it wrong. It's the game that King Arthur plays in the Mabinogion stories. Been doing some research all the way back, and it ties in with Felcher, which is the Irish similar game, the Tavel games and all that. Special thank you to Robert Shaw, who introduced me to all these games. Well, he introduced me to the first one, and I've gone further and asked me a new release, perfect for Christmas. And then I'm going to do a bit about the Odyssey retold, which is the fact that Homer didn't invent his story, or it wasn't even a first-hand story. It's a retelling of a much more ancient Egyptian story, which some of you already know about, maybe some of you don't. We do a little bit on that. And just to start us off, I got the big news then, which I'm going to be... You might wonder if that's crept into the corner of the picture.
This is bigger, Daddy. Like, you've done lots of these, but then none of these.
Not yet. Well, you just produced it, that's why. Right, so then... Oh, thank you, Bill. You managed to distract me. I lost my thread completely now. I want to say a quick thank you as well. A special thank you to Lee Pennington, who's been doing this for a long time now. I'm sure you won't mind me saying, since the 80s. And he's been working with Wilson and Blackett, and he's been very much part of the Kentucky Historical Association, which has done marvellous work. And a lot of the things you see in books like King Arthur Conspiracy, about the Welsh Colburn writing in the caves and all that kind of stuff, very much done in partnership with Lee, who also came over, and I've got some fantastic pictures of Lee and Alan together, younger days, which I'll be showing on Sunday. and also some other pictures which are really good, going back to when they were really doing this. And the point I want to make is that, I've been involved a few years. I mean, this channel's been running, 6 months, well, a bit longer, but really going 6 months to a year or two. This project is much older and more important. It's a much bigger project. And the more other people get involved, the better. So we've got other volunteers say they're making films, they're going to send them in, and we'll post those. So that's fantastic. And I know, and Lee Pennington says he's going to go back through his archive of things he shot, what was it now, 20 odd years ago, and going to re-edit them and produce them and bring them back on. So if you haven't already seen the video I posted earlier today, that's from Lee Pennington, okay? So thank you to him. And they're very important, and the quality is surprising, because I was given a release DVD by Alan, but that was recorded off the TV. It wasn't very good. What he's given is fantastic. Anyway, the great news was, when he went up there, is thank you. Alan sends a very big thank you to Anne Barham, to all of Britain's hidden history community and all the help. Book sales have gone brilliantly. That's really cheered them up. I was able to give them a nice big check, so that was good. So it's a 4-figure check. I'm not going to give the exact details, but we're doing well, okay? Making their life more comfortable. And as I've mentioned before, when I was there, I realised they do not have a working cooker. So that's going to be the next fundraiser, to get a cooker, decent one, £600-700, something like that, hopefully. And the computers, well, they've gone in, but they... Was it because I said they're having problems with their router, they need a new one, that my router decided to conk out? I'm a bit annoyed, because we changed server and everything, service provider, a couple of weeks ago, because we were told the BT one's the fastest, it's the best. They now run it, they got the equipment, the best stuff. This is what you need if you want to do programs. Well, there we are, first run out, and boom, it's let us down. So I'm sorry about that. And I've got no idea here, it's not telling me anything about how many people, did you say how many people are online there or anything?
50 watching.
Oh, good. People got back on again. Well, thank you for your patience. Don't have to wait till Sunday. Have to wait from today. Anyway, here's the first big reveal, okay? They said it would never happen. We've waited years. Da-da, 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 da-da.
Money E is saying hi, David.
Yep, good. That's all right, Leon.
Did you give my...
Darling. It's okay, thank you. So there we go. St. Patrick's Revisited. Or identified, sorry. Fantastic, by Victor V. Orton. I'm going to make sure I stay near this new microphone as well. Not sure how far away it travels. So there we are. It is done. Ta-da! And I have to say, I'm going to do a full review on Sunday. So all regular viewers don't miss out. And also, I haven't read all of it yet. I'm working my way through. It is jammed with information. I mean, it's absolutely packed. It's fantastic. And it's actually 2 books in one, as how it's explained to me by the author. By Victor, I suppose I have to call him. And the first half is very much the historical, factual accounts, going through all the evidence. But it's done much. It's a really different style. Because the first book he's written on his own, of course, Barham, and he's tried to do it more like a sort of. I guess you call it Dan Brown kind of style, where you're following someone as they go through all this process. So the first half, so the first book is all about looking for the evidence, where he goes for the evidence, how he pieces it together. And I have to say, there's so much evidence and information about St. Patrick. And what he goes through as well, which, I'll just give a little summary. I've only read the first chunk of it, okay? Just let you, it's not a full review of the book. What he does very well is explain, he was born in Glamorgan, but he at least had an Irish mother, picked up the language, which is why when he went back there, he was able to talk his way out of it, if you like. But what he does bring into this, which I'd thought about but didn't know enough details, is how he ends up in Rome. And this is a crucial time in politics where the Roman Empire or faith is trying to project its power beyond its borders. So, of course, Ireland is outside the empire, and with this religious connection, which is and Patrick's very much part of this. So whereas the Welsh church had its original British type Christianity. Oh no, the camera stopped working now. Oh, good grief!
Yeah,
Alright, okay, I can fix this. You can probably still hear me. Ah, dear me. Anyway, that wasn't so bad. And so you got the whole political situation behind it, with the British in the room and the two churches competing, and how and why Patrick was so successful in Ireland. Their political things that he had to do, getting the support of kings and who was in charge. It's really fascinating, and far more to it than I realised, and how the church is formed and the differences in doctrine. And that's just the first, I don't know, how much have I read? Where's the one with my bookmark in it? I've only read that much. Hold on. Yeah, that's right, I haven't gone very far at all. Yeah, and it's jammed with information, so I'm looking forward to that. The second half of the book is then... Oh, why is everything let me down tonight? You can hear me, you can't see me now. Okay, I can... Right, I'm going to go and smash everything up. If anyone wants to contribute, if any millionaires out there want to buy me a film studio, it would make this a lot easier. Anyway, so, hope I didn't distract you too much then. And the comments coming through, are they, Leon? Yeah, okay. I can't see the comments for some reason. I don't understand. Why am I the only person who can't see the comments? Anyway, so the second half then is very much like an adventure thriller. And I've dipped in a bit, and it's going around to New York, seeing the St. Patrick's Cathedral there, and off to Russia, where they got a big one. And then there's a bit of excitement and adventure gets involved. Gee whiz. Man, somebody's going to have to give on these shows. It ain't going to be me that gives. Right, let's try a different slot. Hang on. Bear with me. Bear with me. Bear with me. Great, get to look at the top of my head now. Alright, okay. So this, I'm not going to do with this one. Sorry about these distractions. This is going to go on sale Sunday or Monday. And all Patreon supporters and those who've been active helping out on producing the shows and doing all the things they do. Hi, Arnie. Oh, a cup of tea. Thank you very much. They'll be able to order before then. So if you're involved in a project or a Patreon supporter, just send me a message and we'll get you lined up. Because I do have a few signed copies by the mysterious Von Orton. Victor Von Orton. So, yeah, great book. So there we are. So, and if you could help out, please. Like I say, the Patreon links will be in the description, as the YouTubers say. And just £3 a month would really help. There's loads of us. And I've got some people who've been really generous with helping, like helping to buy the computers, Wilson and Blackett, stuff like that. Sending them gifts, sending me stuff. And they're offering more. And as I say to them, we don't want some people to give more. We want more people to give some, all right? If we can all just chip in £3, You watch these disastrous videos. All the other videos have got, well, 20p a video, I know, 30p a video.
I think this is the most exciting one of all of them. And then you pick up that one again.
This is the most exciting. All right, well, the book. All right, so I'll say more about the book. This, okay, Leon says is the most exciting. Thank you, Leon. It's not Arnie, it is Leon. He looks like Arnie, but he's the better looking version, aren't he? As Arnie comes crashing through the door and wallops me. This is Gwyddbwyll, which if you've read Ark the Covenant or you've read the Mabinogi, no, you keep this one, be fine. And we've got the prototype there, and I'll say this is the prototype. That's another version of the game. Now, when Robert Shaw, the writer, came down to visit me, must be a month, 6 weeks ago, something like that. Yeah, go on and pass me that one, yeah. He introduced me to this game, and it's rather nice. This is a set you can buy. It's quite expensive, I think. And it's 11 by 11 square board, and you play with pieces. And it's a game like Tafel, and most people refer to it as a Viking game. Tafel Bwrddur, which is a kind of Welsh board game, isn't it, really? But this is supposed to be the Viking game. Anyway, I really, really enjoyed it. Played Robert, introduced the boys to it, and yeah, we've had good fun with it, okay? And it's a good game. It's quite a complicated game, because you have 24 on one side against 12 on the other, and I'll show you a little bit about it. I'm going to do a video on the tactics and how you play these games. So if you know, my background's chess originally. I used to be, I used to be the Welsh schools chess champion. So there you go. So I love games like this. Really suits my mind. And but when I looked at it, there's actually a Welsh variation and an Irish variation. Who knows which came first? We know what happens in history. Loads of stuff which... can you keep an eye on that? Loads of stuff which he's told is Viking turns out to be Welsh. For example, something I was looking at the other day is, like the Jim Michael video earlier, where he's talking about what's supposedly Viking settlements. They might actually be British or Welsh settlements, because they're well before the Vikings are supposed to have got there. And I've got another essay from Alan Wilson talking about a lot of this, and some of the descriptions about King Arthur going up to Greenland and Iceland, and survivors in 1300 and something actually going to the King of Sweden and explaining who they were and the fact they came from Britain and stuff. So that's all has to come. He's given me so much good stuff. More books to do, more work, and how it's all going to happen. Because we got the St. Patrick's, that's out. So Baron did all that. Oh, sorry. Victor's done that one all by himself, and it's finished. I'm very fortunate that I've got a little introduction from me in there as well. It's very nice of them. And I've given Britain's Hidden History a plug. Hopefully you can see that. You can. Good. And my email address if anyone wants to send me an email. So that's nice, and there's a forward in air from me. Right, so that's good. The whole team's working on fine. Right, this game. So the basic principle of the games are you have to get... I'm going to play the game. Anyway, this is what we're going to produce. This is the prototype box. Nice little box. And it's got Britain's Hidden History on there. So they won't have the name of the game because there's different games you can play. And also the box will be more flexible. You can do other things with it. Gifts for Christmas, things like that. So in there, what you're going to get then is... Take that there. We'd have the pieces. A bit too low. Thank you, Leon, for letting me know. Alright. And I've done... The final piece is going to be slightly smaller than this. This is the prototypes. And we've had quite a few games of this, and I've hammered you, haven't I, Leon?
Well, I can tell which side's easier.
Well, you won the last two games, didn't you?
Yeah, because I was the other colour.
Yeah, defenders seem to be a bit better in this one. Right, so what we've done is made this a bit more flexible, because the Welsh game, if ever you've seen it, for those who don't know the name, you can read it off the top there, Goeth Boyle. I've done it like a star map because it just makes that nice connection with, with Arthur standing on the hill talking about the stars and the planets and everything. So it might be an opportunity, if you give this to someone as a gift, just explain the connection. Maybe introduce the idea of star maps and stuff. So hope you like that design. There are other design options available. That's a great thing with this. You've got a flexible system where we can produce the boards. So there'll be other options. So this isn't a finished one, but that's what the Tavel board usually looks like. 11 squares by 11 squares. And what you have then for the Irish and the Welsh games. Fitchel and...
Oh, those piece of paper and a piece of paper.
Yeah, clever, isn't it? Yeah, Fitchel is the Irish name, apparently.
It looks the same.
Did a lot of research on this. And the board looks the same. In the Irish version, you start off with... let's get it right. If I can work it out, you can see the grey squares. This is what the situation that... Sorry, I'm being very bad at doing this. Point of the game is the red dot is where the king starts. Okay, and then in the Welsh version he has 4 defenders. 1, everything's backwards, 2, 3, 4. And there's 8 attackers on the blue intersections. And the object is very simple. The attackers either try and destroy the defenders, trap the king, kill the king, or the king has to get to one of the corners. All right.
How do you kill them?
Right, thank you, Leon. Yeah, the way you kill them is, or capture, if there's a piece on one place, let's put counters. So if you have a piece there, say, if you got one either side of it, there you take that piece off. So it's a game of strategy. I will do a separate video where you can see better. So that's exciting for everyone to get that just in time for Christmas. We're going to keep the cost down as low as possible. Nice little present for everyone. And it's a great game to play. Maybe we should have a little tournament or something. So the Welsh game, like I say, you have 4 defenders, 8 attackers. And the Irish variation, you actually double that up. 16 against 8. And then the Tavel version, the one Robert introduced me to, the sort of the Viking variant as it's known. Then you've got, it's massive. How many was it, that one?
Huh? Which one?
It's 24 attackers, 12 defenders, and a king. But they've all got a similar principle with variations. And there's a kind of gambling version you can do with dice. And I come up with a few other variants. So you get loads of different variants you can play with this. And if you want to, you can have a drafts chessboard put in the back and play that as well. It's a nice little travel kit. Yes, how's the comments doing, Leon?
Good.
Nope. I wish I could see the comments. There's good chat going on there and I can't see it.
Daddy?
Yes, Leon.
By the look of it, it looks like you got like a huge, like one of these books, say all the rules in different games. By the sound of
Now,
it.
the rules are fairly simple, aren't they? But I mean,
These are all different games.
yeah, but they will be a few different games. People have options, 6 or 7 games. Why can't I see the chat? That's really annoying. Because I can see there's loads of comments and people talking about really good stuff. Oh, how much is the book, Ross? Thank you. There we are. You're supposed to be telling me these kind of things.
It's really small.
It's really small. If you can't read it, you got to tell me, innit? I think it's $12.99. Hang on. I haven't got my glasses. Talking about really small. I think it's $12.99. I'm pretty certain that's the price. Although I can't actually see it anyway. The choice $12.99, okay? Plus postage.
Looks so cool. Sounds
So there it is.
an early version of Risk.
An early version of Risk. Yeah, Risk you're bringing more on, aren't you? Yeah, I loved Risk. That was a great game. You was going to grab Australia. Speaking of which, that would have been a really cool link, wouldn't it? Any other comments there, Leon, on that one?
Okay, Alan the Bull in... I don't know how to pronounce it.
Oh, Goldbush. Yeah, I can't pronounce it either. Don't worry about that.
Vikings had a game like it called...
Yeah, how do you pronounce the Viking one? Yeah, it's Heimbajal or something, isn't it? It's a transition of Gwythe to Irish. Well, anyway, my view on this, anyway, is that how many people do you know just play one game in their lives? Everyone plays lots of games, don't they? So I would suggest, why would you just play one game in ancient times? And the same people could have easily played 2 or 3 games.
It's probably a different tribe.
Different tribes? Yeah, well, I mean, you know, you could play different games in the same tribe, couldn't you? Right, okay, so what I'm going to do now... Oh, there's so much... I've got so many things to report back on. I want to keep most of it for Sunday, because I think that's fair for the people who tune in every week. Like I said, if you're a patron support subscriber, which you can join now, or you've been doing videos and work for this, then you can order these first, okay? Same with the Goyle Bull. I don't know how many we're going to make of those. It'll probably be a fairly limited run. And we'll put those up for order soon. Okay, so what I'll do just quickly is, an update as well on the Britain's Hidden Christianity book, which Patricia's been working with me. She's done a wonderful job. And that book is just about done, as I've been telling everyone, should come out in the next couple of weeks. And then Alan dropped something he'd written in 1994.
This is an interesting one. What is the difference between...
What's the difference between, yes, sorry, I'm interrupting the very keen producer tonight.
BWLL.
Go on, boys, yeah.
GWL.
Yeah, go on.
IF.
Point. Oh, Hypertel. See, go on, point. Where are you looking? Right, what's the difference between bulf and pull? It's bulf, BWYLL, rather than bull.
Benny Bubbles.
Yeah, Benny's on there. And like I said, Benny, please, you got to show me. I need to come and see you.
I've been thinking...
We're both in RCT. We can keep 2 meters apart. And I was social distancing from Alan for like 3-4 days. He's got a massive house, though. I wish he'd get somewhere smaller, but there you go. It takes a lot of cleaning, which is usually my first job when I turn up.
I play the same game a number of different ways.
Oh, Benny seems like he's an expert on this. Right. We're going to do a reverse interview, Benny. Right? You are going to show me how to do an online interview, and I'm going to interview you how to play the game. So you can be my guest, all right? How about that? All right, so that's that one. So what I was saying about the Britain's Hidden Christianity was that then there was this like wodge of... Oh yeah, this is important. A wodge of notes that he'd written... One sec. He'd written back in the 90s. And it's phenomenal. And it's got to go in that book. Because part of the reason for this book is to bring together all the stuff about Christianity. And when you get dolloped a big chunk of unpublished work by them which has got fantastic background on who Jesus was. I mean, a lot of this is in the book already, but this is additional. This is stuff that wasn't in the book already. So I have to hold things up while we produce this. And this is where we need volunteers and we need help. Because unfortunately, the notes are on typewritten sheets of paper. And I didn't want to take them away from their property. So I used my phone to photograph the pages. Because Barham did volunteer to photocopy them all and post me a photocopy. But I mean, altogether, we're talking hundreds of pages. Because there's another project coming up as well. But for this project, it'll still be a chunk of pages. Big job, costing money. I said, no, it's great. They come out well on my phone. You can see them. Pass my phone, please. And I've uploaded all the pictures, I think. Anyway, you can see them on the phone. They look fine. We've uploaded them to computer. That's fine. But the software we've got for recognising text to make it into a word does not work. So there's no, as far as we can tell, there's no way around it. Hang on, I think I've got one of them. Here we go. Here's let's do a quick screen share. Hopefully that works. This isn't particularly. I'm not sure where this page is. Just a random page anyway from the hundreds we've got going into the system. So it comes in this kind of format, and for some reason computers don't like it. We can't read it. I can't see any. Unless someone knows a clever fix, which they do, please tell me. That'd be great. But I think we're gonna have to type it in. And that's going to take a long time for me to do. And I'm already working, I don't know how many hours a day, on all the other things. Basically, from 8 in the morning till I crash out at night. And there's only so much I can do with 4 books on the go and all the videos and everything else we do with this project. So please, what I'm hoping is if we can get, say, 5 or 6 people to volunteer to do a bit of typing, then we can split it up and just do, I don't know, 10 pages each or something. That does 60 pages. Or we might have to do it twice, because eventually there are a few hundred pages. But if we can just do little chunks each, many hands makes light work, and it'd be much appreciated, and it would mean the book's getting out a lot quicker, and you would get a thank you in the book, of course. And I usually bend my arm to send you a free copy when it comes out, so I can't actually pay, but you would get a copy of the book and your name in it, and it'd be my eternal thanks and great gratitude. What's that, darling?
Someone said photocopy/scan. Then show through OCR to digit the text.
Yeah, if we'd scanned them, we could have done it. This is the thing, because the last folder of notes I got, which is another book, which will be coming out next year, and thank goodness we started typing that in, because that was like this thick. And I'll say a few words, a little sneak preview. This goes back to the whole Jesus Osiris thing. It goes right back to the origins of religions and all sorts. It's brilliant, and that's going to be next year.
Up to 10 pages.
Oh yeah, we got volunteer Robert Shaw. Thank you very much. Anyone could just message me, ross@cymroglyphics.com. So when we scanned the pages in, that one's different. I borrowed the folder, we scanned the pages in, and we found some software which would read it and convert it to a Word document.
Try the free OCR option via Google.
Yeah, yeah, we tried OCR and things like that, and they work fine with scans. And saved us a lot of work. I mean, you still have to go through and correct it. It's not perfect. It does misread, but hey, it's a lot easier than typing it all in. I totally 100% agree. Oh, is it not screen sharing? Why is it not screen sharing?
I think it's just really long.
No, it wouldn't be that long.
It'll be like a minute, I think.
No, there we go. Oh, alright, okay. So we can't do screen share.
Tried OCR and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's okay. No, I was just trying to screen share. I got about screen share though. Thought you were doing that. Anyway.
Isn't it 1 or 2?
Yeah, but it's not working. It's not there. The display capture's not there. Look. Oh yeah, it is there, isn't it? Of course it is. Hang on. Just.
Oh, I did it, Daddy. You did it.
Hey, okay, alright, okay. So there you go. So you'd think that would be alright, wouldn't you? Just print it out and maybe the scanner would work or something, but it's not. So these are kind of pages we have. Let's wait for the lag to catch up. How many people type them in? So more volunteers, please, would be really, really helpful. I just want to check on the screen if it comes up. The lag's about a minute long. Really difficult. More volunteers?
Can you please explain again, Ross? I've lots of volunteers.
Right, I'll explain. We got pages here, which are photographs. Oh, you can see it on the screen. They look roughly like this. Some are not quite, some are slightly blurred, which might be the issue. So to get the next book out, this really needs to be in there. It's a book bringing together everything about Christianity, and you just shouldn't leave this out. It's got the background of Jesus, and more about the politics and the situation, and how he came to the situation of the crucifixion. So with the project, and for the book next year, there's a couple of hundred of pages. For this book, I think we probably use about 50 pages in this one. And what we need to do is, it's hard work typing it all in for one person, or even two people. So if people could volunteer to do, say, 10 pages each, I would then email you, or Angie would email you those 10 pages. If you could type them in and send them back as a Word, we'll merge them all together, and then the book won't get held up so long. So that's all I'm asking people to do, all right? If they could, the more volunteers, the better. I mean, if we had, 30 volunteers doing 10 pages each, we could have the next year's book out in a couple of months as well. Yes, Liam?
I was thinking, because I think it's been printed out, since I've just hand typed it.
Yes.
So if you've got an old printer, maybe it might work with an old printer.
I'll try an old machinery, might understand the old typing. I haven't actually read this page. I couldn't put anything up there. I've got hundreds of pages. I haven't put anything sensitive or anyway. Oh my goodness, it's quite an interesting page actually, isn't it? Put some controversial stuff up. Anyway, so hopefully people can help with that. Right. Okay, now then. God, there's so much news. I wasn't sure we were going to get to this at all. Straight into Word. Oh, people are... well, if people want to try some technical solutions, that would be even better, I think. Although I quite like the team spirit everyone's doing together. But yeah, what I was saying was, if you do help, then you get a mention in the book. My undying thanks and a free copy and some goodies. But I'm sure most people want to do it out of goodwill, really, rather than a commercial decision. It's not like a job or anything, okay? It's not a job advert that's going up. We can't see the full page. No, okay. Right, so... hopefully you can see that on the screen now. Has that got a bit of chat going, is it? I'll go back through the comments later, because it's very difficult for me to read them.
Most people say yeah.
Most people say yeah. Well, that's great. Thank you very much. So what you need to do, you need to email me, ross@cymroglyphics.com. In the header, put something like typing volunteer or something like that. As long as it's not too abusive. Anything along those lines. And then I will email back a chunk of the work, okay?
So instead of course PDF afterwards.
Oh, don't worry about afterwards. I do the layouts, make it into a book, then it gets converted to PDFs, then it goes to the printers. Just Word for now, please.
I have to watch for name very, very...
Oh, is Patricia giving tips? Because Patricia's the queen of this. Patricia's done loads for me already. I couldn't ask her to do all this lot as well. Although I'm sure she'll do a chunk of it. Might end up me and her doing all of it again, but hopefully not. More people who get involved, the better, all right?
What do you mean by that part?
What do I mean what now? All right, they have a conversation on the comments now.
What's that? What?
Just type it as a Word document. I'll handle the rest, all right?
So I didn't really get the thing with you.
Okay.
Thing with you.
Crowdsourcing, that's it. Thank you very much. Oh, Ross@Cymro. This is when I use my high-tech presentation skills now. I'm going to draw it on the screen. Cymroglyphics.com. Okay, hopefully that works. I can't see anything. It's a massive lag and I can't see. Oh, this is going to be difficult, isn't it? Ross@cymroglyphics.com. I'm hugely grateful. Thank you very much for that.
Shall I write in the comments, Daddy?
Yeah, write in the comments. Good thinking, Leon. The producer is really coming up trumps now. It'd be even better if you get it right, wouldn't it? Right. One of the other books, which is coming out, and I don't go through the whole book, but there's an interesting bit at the end which I want to get people involved in as well. And again, it's a call for help and contributions. As you might well know, there's a book which has been on the cards now for ages. It's the Odyssey Retold is a working title. And what we're looking at there... Thank you. What have we got? Should we get it right? Yes, there we are. It's on the comments. My email address as well now.
Different spellings and names depending on the source.
Okay, well, don't worry too much, Patricia, about the details, ancient spellings and stuff. We can go through and, correct that kind of stuff. As long as people get the text in, a few mistakes are going to be fine. We can correct those. And the name spelling, some of the ancient names, shouldn't be so bad on this one, I hope. Anyway, so, because some of them are difficult. Like when we were doing Trojan War and you got all those long Assyrian names, and the book that's coming out next year, oh my goodness, some of those ancient names are like this long, and lots of variations. And Wilson and Blackett aren't very consistent sometimes. So you have to try and work out which one you want to use and then change the others. But don't worry about that. That's all part of the editing process. This is just get the words into the computer, all right? So don't overthink it too much at the moment. So the point of the Odyssey one is this fantastic story. This it's another one. As if Wilson and Blackett already don't deserve about 10 Nobel Awards for literature and history. Here's number 11. Because what they've done here is taken the book which just about every academic ever has read, and anyone who's done the classics will have studied in great detail, and that's Homer's Odyssey. And if you're not aware of it, there's 2 books in this series. I'm sure everyone's aware of it, because you've got the Iliad, which is a kind of a historical poem looking at a snapshot, really, about a month.
Someone's got an idea for BHH.
Okay.
That one there.
Okay, all right. Let me tell the story now, okay, Dan? Yeah, okay. For those based in Wales, okay, thanks for suggestions. I'll try and come to those at the end, okay? So it's like a poem, if you like, and there's a period of days towards the climax of the Trojan War. So the siege has been going on for years. There's unrest in the camp. Most themes you will know. The fact that you've got Achilles, the great invincible warrior, played by Brad Pitt in the film. A cracking film, by the way. Some of it's to do with the actual Iliad as well, the film Troy. I'm trying to think of a polite way of putting it. It's more accurate than Braveheart is about William Wallace, put it that way. At least most of the characters are right. And even if they die wrongly or do some strange things. Anyway, it's got this friction between Achilles and Menelaus, or Agamemnon, the great king, and Achilles has his sulk. All these kind of things I'm sure you're familiar with. And then there's the great battle, Achilles and Hector, and Paris fighting Menelaus, all that kind of stuff. It's great, right? After the Battle of Troy comes the Odyssey, which, as you see on this picture here, this is not what people generally think the Odyssey is. Because what happens then, the Odyssey starts with the heroes returning home, and which classical academics always say is obviously back to Greece. And on this map, they'll be coming up around here somewhere. Like Odysseus is supposed to be around this side. I'll show you some more maps in a second. This is actually the maps I've been drawing for the book. This one I'm not happy with. I'll do a better version. It's one of these things. You start at the beginning of the book, and by the end of the book, you're getting the hang of it. So then you start going backwards again, and you find the first view. You want to redo it a bit, improve and things. Because the basic idea, what Wilson and Blackett show is just genius. It's phenomenal. So if you read the Odyssey and just follow the directions, they don't go around here at all up to Greece. The first thing they have to do is come home. And you'll find some of the stories like Chios and stuff like that, where the old man of the sea intervenes. And you can follow directions and you can see this is the route they're taking. And they are heading, you're going to see some of the text here. Here we are. A bit confusing. Maybe you should colour in the water, not the land. But anyway, this is one of the maps I've done. So they come down through north of Mediterranean, Dardanelles, and cross. And what you'll find, if you follow the story, and it's very clear in the Odyssey. It's amazing. People haven't noticed this before. It comes all the way down. They go to Greece. It says in there, the palace of Menelaus in Greece. The whole point is it's not Greece, Ross. Egypt. There's Greek little city-state Greek colonies in the Delta. And that's where they're heading to. That's where they live. And what Wilson and Blackett show, and you'll see this in the Trojan War book, which is already out. If you haven't got a copy, you really should have one because it's amazing. And one of the things it shows that the whole conflict was to do with the death of Tutankhamun, Unfortunately, he's also incorrectly dated by most historians. When he moved his date of death, it's a strange, horrible expression, isn't it? Yeah, how else do you put it? It's when he moved his date of death back to, I don't know, 700, 680s or 670s, round about there. Then everything starts to make sense. Because the problem is, his only possible heir is his daughter. Sorry, get that right. His young wife or his mother. There are no male heirs left. And he's died too young. So what's going to happen to the throne? Well, the Egyptian, and it would seem ancient Greek tradition as well, was that inheritance passes through the mother's side. So whoever can marry, whether it be his mother or sister, one of those two, Helens, as they became later known, will inherit, become pharaoh of Egypt. So this is why they're trying to get her particularly. It's not the face that launched 1,000 ships; it's the empire that came with her. So this is what they also explain in Trojan War, and this to a certain extent, is that this is a sideshow. If you think of World War II as an analogy, in Western psyches, like where I was brought up with, I'm sure most people watching this, is that the biggest moment in World War II was D-Day, and this enormous landing on the beaches, opening up the second front or third front, depending how you look at it, if you include Italy. And this new front was a decisive moment. That's what won the war, and it was all about British and Americans, Canadians, allies storming the beaches and giving the Germans a good pasting. If you look at the overall situation in the war, that wasn't the case at all. The old joke is the Americans beat the Japanese, it's the Russians who beat the Germans, and the British beat the Italians. All right, that's one way of looking at World War. Don't want to talk too much about World War II, but if you look at the allocation of troops, oh gosh, I can't remember. It's like 60, 70 divisions on the Eastern Front, and then 2 or 3 divisions on the Western Front facing off against Britain and allies, America and whoever else, most of the United States. It was a sideshow. It was a diversion from the main event, and both sides were feeding in, all right, the main combatants. And it's a similar story here. You've got the old Chaldean Hittite Empire and the Assyrians. They're bashing it out, and the big stuff is going on over here. But because Egypt, where it is, this is where all the archaeologists and historians first went, and you've got those wonderful pyramids and statues. Everyone concentrates on Egypt, but this is the sideshow. And Troy, these sort of small Greek city-states trying to get the heiress back and battling away in Troy, this is lucrative. I mean, it's important, don't get me wrong. It's an important trade route and everything, but this really is like a second front, if you like. The big boys are fighting over here. And this is why, when you read in Trojan Wars and Iliad and things like that, you'll see armies pouring in from all over the place to join the battle. You know, why have we got armies coming up from Sudan to help one side and from over here? It's because 2 empires are clashing. Anyway, I've drifted off into that. What I want to talk about is the Odyssey, wasn't it? Hang on a second. And this is one of the interesting things here. And my camera's gone off again. I'm going to get really annoyed with this. I'm not, because I'm cool, aren't I? Everyone's going to see me doing this now, aren't they? Is it back on? No.
Oh, it's came out entirely, Daddy.
Where is it?
There you go.
Sorry, folks. Yep, okay. All right. And where it all ties in, this is the magic Wilson of Blackhead. I know it's Britain's hidden history, but it does all tie in because it goes back here where you see the red-haired mummies, and people always try to work out why they're red-haired. Well, the reason is because they were actually Greeks coming down. So you got Ramses first, who's Necho, and Necho second, Ramses second. You can clearly see here the ginger hair and stuff on the mummies, which really confuses everybody except Wilson and Blackett. Now, the other key thing which comes into this, not giving too much of the book away, this is, sorry, sideways, because the book's going to be, that's the way the book's laid out at the moment. The traditional story, which you've all probably had a glimpse of at some point, is that this Odysseus then has his journey home. That's the main thrust of the story, okay? The main narrative of the Odyssey is this massive epic journey that he takes all over the place. And he meets sirens and lotus eaters and cyclops and all sorts of terrible things that he has to battle his way through using his wits and his athleticism and his strength. And according to the mainstream experts and all those people who study the classics, if you can imagine this turned over slightly, this was the route he took. Don't forget, Odysseus is supposed to be the smart one, right? He's cunning. He's the cunning Odysseus. Whenever they're the destroyer of cities, whenever there's a problem, like he's the one who's supposed to have thought of the Trojan horse, to get behind the walls. This really smart guy, it takes him, well, it depends how you read the account, between 3 and 10 years to get across the Mediterranean, back to where he's supposed to live, which is up here, you see. Like I say, on the other side of Greece. I think he calls it Ithaca, which is the wrong place again. Anyway, so what he does, he goes up there, goes down here, and he goes there, and then he gets blown off course and all this. But none of it corresponds with what's actually in the Odyssey. And one of the reasons is, for example, the Odyssey talks about being blown south for many, many, many days, okay? And this is one of the keys, because what Wilson and Blackett have done is actually read the evidence and do it more logically. And the only way you can logically explain it is that instead of a little sojourn around the endless go around in circles in the Mediterranean, it must be somewhere else. How can you sail for days and days and days directly south in the Mediterranean? You would hit Africa. I mean, there's no avoiding it, okay? It's ludicrous. Whereas, if you came the other way, down the Red Sea, this is sort of modern-day Pakistan, northwest India, and there's a place there, Mohenjo-daro, which is a very famous archaeological site, where Woolley, of all people, Woolley went there. There's a Cardiff University connection, and discovered this destroyed city, loads of treasure and all that kind of stuff, people with arrows in their heads, classic city that's been sacked. And no apparent explanation. Apart from, it's pretty close to Egypt if you come this way. Just come around the Gulf of Arabia, and up you go, okay? And so this is, and I've got other evidence as well to show that this is where the raiding took place. Now, the key is, this isn't the Greeks we're talking about now. This is the ancient Egyptians. This is when we're talking way before the Trojan Wars. There are stories in the Egyptian records of this journey taking place. This person has been identified as Ben Anath, although as it mentions, you can see on the text there, that name will need checking now that we can read hieroglyphs better than the people who were doing this in the past. So what's happened is, I won't go through all the details of the stories, but you can see it through, it's actually recorded twice in Egyptian history, and you can see that what Homer's done is take this old story, an Egyptian story, for great adventure, and he's changed the characters to make it seem more Greek. But you can still see, even in Homer's version, Egypt is the key to it all. And you can follow this adventure. And this is a great piece of writing by Wilson and Blackett. So they come around there, they sack Mohenjo-daro, and maybe it's the same journey, or maybe they went back and forth a few times. This guy, Ben Anath, he then sets off south. As I've drawn this map. I think India's a little bit larger than that. As I say, India... Oh, man. What's the problem with this? I don't understand why I keep doing this. Well, I guess it doesn't really matter if I freeze, does it? For now on, I shall just keep talking. If there's no camera on me, it doesn't really matter, does it? Doesn't really matter. Oh no, the mouse isn't working now. Come on. Sorry about that. Right. So there we go. So what we can do, we can follow the journey down, and then if you follow the map then, so you come through here, down through India, or down past India, I should say, and I'm going to put the routes and everything on the final version of this. It's like a sketch, if you like. And then the story is, and this is where it gets really interesting, all the different chapters that you find in the Odyssey all suddenly make sense. You've got things like Borneo, we got like the headhunters and maybe the cannibals. Was that me? The cat causing trouble. I have every distraction tonight. Oh man, I have to keep going through all this. And then the story is then that Odysseus, or the traveller Ben Anath, finds these peace-loving people, which Wilson and Blackett are suggesting is the Aborigines, perhaps. Then they make a journey down south, which I've called Taz. It's a bit Aussie slang there, Tasmania, and back up. And then possibly on to New Zealand, and on they go. And this might seem amazing at first. But if you look at the book, if you read the Odyssey, it explains there where, for a start, the trouble they have in navigating. Well, in those days, well, even in modern times, but in those days particularly, everyone navigated by the North Star. Well, if you suddenly flipped over onto the southern hemisphere, there's no North Star anymore. And as it says in the book, they're suddenly lost. They don't know, they don't know how to navigate. They don't know where they are. Everything's going the wrong way around. And as they become, you can remember, Mediterranean is the summers and winters aren't enormously different. It's not equatorial, but, it's not like Britain, very far north, or further north in some other countries. Suddenly they're down here and they're getting very, very close to Antarctica. And if you're there in the winter, don't forget the seasons are reversed, summer and winter's reversed. That's when you get the situation where, as it says in Odyssey, where the days are so long, if a man could rest or was strong enough, he could do 2 days' work. Pardon?
Your sound's gone.
Sound's gone?
Yeah.
Really? Are you sure? Can people hear me? Because I'm just confirmed. Sound seems alright. Hang on. Has the sound gone? No, I think the sound should be alright. It's still, the microphone's still responding. Okay, well, I'll keep going anyway. I hope it's okay. Maybe you've got your thing plugged in or something. I can hear me now, right? Okay. No, you've muted it. Oh, thanks. Right. This must be what it's like to be a school teacher. You have this lesson plan in your head. Not a lesson, but you know what I mean. You have your ideas, what you're going to talk about, and then constant interruptions. And that the boy die back in the back causing trouble. You have to throw him out and deal with other things, and someone has to go to the toilet and all that kind of stuff. It's a lot like that, isn't it? So, so yeah, I'll cut this short anyway, so you can follow then all these people there, and then in there it mentions in the Odyssey how there's a short journey south and back north again, which would be Tasmania, or even an attempt to get to Antarctica. And then Wilson and Blackett suggest they went to New Zealand, which I was slightly sceptical at, and I'll show you the maps in a second, see why. There's another map I've drawn, because I'm trying to work out possibly a more likely route. If they sail out, first appeal, or anybody who understands how, I know Alan Wilson understands everything, and he's probably right, he always is, but I like to check things thoroughly first. And so what we're trying to do is work out, if we're going from Australia, you can go any route you want to, alright, so any sailors out there, brilliant. If the idea is you've got to get back down to here, alright, this is you were trying to get to, and I'll explain why in a second. The problem they have with those sailing ships and boats, it's very difficult to go back up north unless they understood all the trade winds and everything. They are forced down here. So the advice they get when they go and see the warlike people, Wilson and Blackett are saying that's New Zealand, Aotearoa, the Maoris and all that kind of thing. But this is where I need a little bit of help. The research I've been doing is the Maoris weren't actually there that long, but there is another side to it, which I was hoping to see how the time goes. If you look on, go online, you'll find it yourself. There's the white New Zealanders, and it's I've looked into this for other reasons a while ago, where there's people claim to be there before the Maoris, and they've got blue eyes or greeny blue eyes and blonde hair, and they look very, very different to obviously the Maoris, the heavy set, darker skinned rugby player. Outside Wales, of course, the best rugby players in the world, all these sort of Tongans and Fijians and that. Now, what I'm trying to work out is, will the flow from New Zealand, any New Zealanders out there? I know we've got a few Australians. There should be a couple of New Zealanders. Dave Chapman, he's New Zealander. I don't know if he does much sailing now. Is this a possible journey going that way? See, to my mind, I think it might be more likely that they came this way. And then the warlike characters could be the Fijians or the Tongans. But what throws it is this idea of the natives there being, there's some sort of white people there, if you like, pre-Maori, which could be connected. Because I was also sent by Patricia, thank you Patricia. She's done some research, and there is a record there of 6, in the ancient records, of 6 ships coming, Phoenicians, Greeks, people like that, Egyptians. So they could tie in with this folklore, or they brought the folklore with them. Very difficult to tell. Same with Australia. This is another one I'm looking for help on. What I'm going to add to the book, 'cause it's not a very long book, and I think it raises so many questions, it'd be good to include more information for people to follow up with. So, for example, there's the Australian hieroglyphs. Now, I know I can Google search. Please, I don't need people just do a Google search, Australian hieroglyphs. Here it is, Ross. Send me a link. Or no, I can do that. That's great. I can do all that. What I want to see is, there's anyone... there's a person there called Steve Strong, who's done a lot of research on those hieroglyphs. So if someone could reach out to him, I'd like to speak to him. Because with chiroglyphics and that, I reckon we could have a good go at it. Because what I really want, the problem with the Google search pictures is you get little chunks of rocks and angles and stuff. What I really like to see is nice big pictures with all the hieroglyphs laid out. Because I reckon if all this comes together, we get some good pictures, we can make a massive breakthrough here. We can use the chiroglyphics. For those who don't know, that's Welsh language is a kind of key to reading hieroglyphs. You say what you see in Welsh, you get the sounds like word, and you can read it. It's really quite easy once you've got the hang of it. And you've got a dictionary, which is in the back of the chiroglyphics book. Anyway, I'll plug the book again. But what I should do then, so if anyone is...
Your face cam's not even working, and you know.
Oh, so I'm not moving, am I? My face cam's... What do you mean the face cam's... Alright, don't worry about that. Don't worry about the face cam. I'll just keep talking, alright? I'll have one more go. It's really frustrating. But hopefully you can hear me okay, and you can see what I'm looking at here. So if you look at the islands, I've drawn them quite roughly. The distances are vast, just to give you an idea. The sea should be larger than this, so it would be an incredible achievement. But anyway, the story goes with this old Ben Aneth, which is the real story of the Odyssey. Is that chiroglyphics?
Oh, chiroglyphics! I can tell.
So there we go. I should really turn these around for their presentation, shouldn't I? Sorry about that. If you can sort of turn your head like this, okay? So what we're looking at there, coming down through Indonesia, Papua New Guinea, Borneo, all those kind of places as they used to be called. And then down, possibly down the east coast of Australia, down to Tasmania and back. Because if you notice in the Odyssey, they go somewhere and then they come back. And they welcomed warmly the first time, they go away, they don't follow the advice and they end up coming back. And they're not so warmly welcomed the second time. And they could have attempted to go to Antarctica. So what I'm suggesting is, do they possibly come this way? Wilson Blackett suggested more like that way. I mean, it's not crucial to the story, alright? It's not a case of, the whole story falls out because we can't work out this bit. As you'll see, because the key part is then... Here's one of my little drawings.
And it whopped again.
Yeah, it's done me again, isn't it? It's done me again. It's the last time I do it. I keep saying that and then doing it again, don't I? Come on, I can't see word now. Alright, if you can't see my face moving, you can hopefully hear me. Alright, it's going to go to radio. Okay, then... Oh, yeah, right, so the key is there. The picture's out of order. I haven't finished the editing yet.
Drawing again.
Alright. Yeah, this drawing again. Yeah, the one you like to... Ah, yeah, huh? Oh, no! I just realised. Well, the whole idea is I'm going to show this using a blinking globe. I've got the globe in my hand. So we've got to get the camera working, haven't we? We have to. We have to get the camera working, Leon.
It plugs in.
Well, it is plugged in.
It's not.
It's plugged in. It's not working.
It's not plugged in.
Oh, of course it is. There it is. Look, I plugged it in. What do you mean?
Why am I plugging it back in?
I just did that.
It's not enough.
How can I demonstrate if I've got no camera working? We only have one go at it. Come on, people are losing patience now. I'm losing... Oh, no, yeah. We got endless patience. Loads of good comments going on in the chat, which I can't see either. No, you can't turn it upside down. That doesn't work. You can't just... No. I think this USB port has gone. Bloody great, isn't it? Got all this new kit and this doesn't work. It's just refusing to... How can I demonstrate on a globe?
I don't know.
People can't see me. Right. Let's see how good your geography is now. Because I've got a globe and you can hear the globe.
Google thingamajig world thing where you can see the entire world.
Well, I had all the maps loaded up on my other computer and I transferred it to this one. Alright, anyway, so what we're going to do, if you come off the east side of Pitcairn Island, if you keep going east, there's not an awful lot, alright? you got the massive Pacific to get across. But it's not a case of there's nothing, though. So they could have island hopped from then. And this is the premise of the story. Because in the Odyssey and that, it talks about a circumnavigation. This is the key to everything. Circumnavigation ending up coming through the Pillars of Hercules, through Gibraltar, okay? Is that what you're seeing now?
Huh?
What are you seeing on screen, is that it?
Yeah.
So you don't see me at all now? Okay.
No, because you unplugged it.
I didn't unplug it. It stopped. Alright, so you can't see me at all. We're on radio view. I've had enough of my face anyway. You can only see me crying in a second. So as we come out east of Pitcairn, if you keep going long enough, you'll hit South America. Alright? As I'm sure you're aware. Now, the reason I want to get my globe out is there are actually a couple more dots linking up this way. So you can island hop, island hop, island hop, island hop, island hop, island hop. And Patricia's done some wonderful research. She's going to get full credit on this book for her help. More than help, really. It's been brilliant. And that's, for example, is cocaine. I suppose he traces the cocaine in these mummies. Where would that have come from, if not from South America? And it seems to be a lot more international connection and travel between these people. So anyways, once you leave this map off the eastern edge, you've got the vast expanse of... I need to show this. All right, the vast expanse of the Pacific. So I haven't drawn the rest of these maps yet. And what you do have then is a few little islands called Ducie, D-U-C-I-E. I'm not sure how to spell it. How to say it, sorry. And then we got... Well, actually, we got Rayo, Maquero, Oina, Ducie, and then we get to Easter Island, which I think people are more familiar with. And the journeys of Darwin and the Beagle and all that stuff. And there's another one called Gambia. So you can island hop across it. And this is where it gets really exciting then. Because then you have the big dilemma, which is what's discussed in the Odyssey, when it offered two routes. And you've got Scylla, who's going to... this is where my journey drawing comes in, which is crashing on the one side, and you've got the other stuff on the other side. Which route are they going to take in the little boat here? And the idea is that if you come to the bottom tip... Why am I pointing to the camera? If you come to the bottom tip of South America, Cape Horn, you've got two choices. You can go all the way around, or you can cut through what is now known as Magellan's Straits. So what Wilson Black is saying is here, this is and you can see a little bit of the book there, a little sneak preview, there you go. The passage between the two oceans is described as the place of the cave lair of the monstrous Scylla, who killed men from every ship that sailed through the channel. Opposite the rocks and cave of Scylla is the abode of a whirlpool monster named as Charybdis, who sucks down and spews up alternatively. And it says 3 times a day, the two whirlpools and that. And you can just see a little bit down the bottom there. I'll get a little bit more, finish the page. And like the unpredictable 3 times a day clashing tides from the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans, rushing tempestuously through this unique, narrow channel with deep, rocky, dangerous sides, okay? So this area in South America here, off the tip of South America, accurately describes what, or Homer accurately describes what's going on there. It's nothing to do with Odysseus as such. It's all to do with this old ancient Egyptian story. Just trying to get the camera to work one more time. No, it's definitely given up. Okay, so this is what the main story is about, okay? So then it gets the more drawings I got to do and finish off the last bit. So they make it through the Straits and Magellan Straits. And the next piece of land, if you head directly east, which is where a little globe would be rather handy. So get a map out. And if you look to the east, what if I could put it on screen? Shouldn't really be showing everything on here because people get into my things. Oh, well, what can you do? What can you do? All right, hang on a second. Map of Magellan Straits. Okay, this will do. Good as any. So what you'll see, they'll be coming in from the west, travelling east. Thank you very much, whoever's drawn that line on there for me. That's perfect. So you can either come all the way around the Horn and take your chances with ice and all that kind of stuff, or you come through here and you got to take your chances through being bashed up in the cliffs and all that kind of thing. So there's your choices. Now if you go further east, alright, I've been learning about geography doing this as well. There we go. Map of South Atlantic. So a smaller one. So sure, this on the globe would be much easier. Alright, what we're looking for anyway. Oh no, I suppose that'll do. Nope, that's no good at all. You come around here, well, you can just about see it there. It says Falkland Islands, okay? And you got St. Georgia, Falkland Islands. It's a bit rubbish, but we're going to use this for a minute. And the idea is there, when you've got Zeus's his precious cows, his sacred cows, I think that's probably where the saying comes from. You're not to kill them, not allowed to eat them. Well, what they're saying here is that is to do with the seals. It's the sea lions. They are the cows. You can see them, you can hear them as you're sailing around. And then, I'll cut this short, but the rest of the story then is trying to get back up north, waiting for the favourable wind. They have to stay over winter in the Falklands, plant crops, plant corn, all the stuff you read about in Odyssey, waiting for the winter to end, weather to change, and they come up here, and then you can track through these little islands, which I've been tracking down, all these little islands in the Atlantic. I never thought I'd be doing geography like this. I thought it was all supposed to be about history, isn't it? I spent most of my time doing physics, and now I'm doing most of my time on geography. Anyways, it comes up there. That's good. Most maps don't mention these. St. Paul Rocks and Cape Verde. You got the Azores here somewhere. Oh yeah, there's the Azores. And what will happen is in the Canary Islands, so you can track a trail there, or they follow the coast of South America, or it's discussed in the book. And then the idea is, because you're working on, once you get to the right latitude, you're the right amount north, so that you're level with Egypt, you then know that all you got to do is head back, and this is where the story of Odysseus ties in. We're coming through the Pillars of Hercules, and you enter into Egypt, having done a circumnavigation of the world. Isn't that amazing? Absolutely fantastic. So that book needs to come out soon. So this is where I really need to go back to me again. And I have one must go. Come on, come on. Why would it just die like that? I don't understand it.
I'm fried.
Fried, thank you. Do we have another camera? Yeah, we do, don't we? Yeah. We had the rubbish camera there, didn't we? But it'll be better than nothing.
I have no idea what is there.
Can you ask me where she... Ah, here it is. Right, I'm going to try one more. Hang on.
Tune to come off into an OBS studio. That'd be really
Oh, no, I've changed all the settings over. Anyway, we've been on over an hour anyway, so it's been a bit of a strange one tonight.
It's 9:30.
It's 9:30, yeah, time for your bed. You got school tomorrow.
I've got to see Mars as well.
And you'll see Mars as well, yeah. I'm just going to look for any more pictures for you to see. So if someone's really clever and really good at pausing, they can read almost the whole book. But you see the marks. It's not all finished.
Should you put up the pictures as well, Daddy?
Let's put a nice picture on the screen, come on.
Should you put up the pictures of Mars?
Pick up the pictures of Mars. I know I'm going to do that with everything else that's going on.
You got the USB.
I got the USB there. What I'm going to have on the screen when I mess about that? I think it's best we don't try that. Come on. Oh, we'll just have that picture there. All right, I know when I'm beaten. All technology's against me. Even the camera's not working. You can't see me even for me to say goodbye. That's such a shame. So hope you're enjoying that on these. All right, let's read some of the comments then, all right? So if you want to go to the chat, let's have a look. Blasted mute button now. Alright, according to academics, Alan Wilson was photocopying with Yolo Maganuk in 1847, making over 280 years old. Yes, academics that don't know media from something, or, yes, okay. I'm not sure they're meant to be word, it's in code or something. Yeah, sound's back on. Thank you, Darren. Yeah, I pressed the button. I give up. Sound on, sound back on now.
I still don't have sound.
If you can see the camera was working, all you do is see me crying now. But anyway, it's been great. But the main things is, so please, we'll get back to, I dare say back to normal on Sunday. What do you call normal? Normal's when just, half the things go wrong rather than everything going wrong. And I'll be on spending most of my next couple of days. If you can't get hold of me on the phone, it's because I'm complaining to BT about their internet connection, or I'm ringing up the person I bought this computer from not very long ago. This is the new computer, isn't it? This is Mummy's new computer. This will also work beautifully.
This one's newer, this one.
Well, that was second hand. This is supposed to be all latest kit.
Second hand?
Yeah. Anyway, never mind that. So remember, just a quick recap. For Sunday, I'll be showing some lovely pictures of some new video of Alan Wilson, some new pictures, and also some old pictures and some old clips, mostly featuring Lee Pennington from the 90s and his visit over here. Paul Hartel has got some stuff. Hopefully some of that will come through and some more pictures. I got some cracking stuff, and I have to say that's going to be great. The LiDAR things, I will be doing a video on how to play Goithbush. And don't forget, ideal Christmas present for yourself or others. Introduction to the subject, perhaps. If they are not necessarily going to go for a book, perhaps they start with a game. And Patrick identified. Why am I holding it up? No one can see me anyway. I am now holding up the book. So at least you've seen it anyway. So you know it's out, it's physical, and I've got some copies to sell. So first dibs, as my boys say, dibs. First dibs, email me those patron supporters and regulars.
How much do you have right now?
How many copies?
Yeah.
They're in the car.
Huh?
They're in the car. We shall see how many. However many can fit in my boot with all the other stuff I brought with me.
Because you should know how much there are. 'Cause they could maybe sign some, like the first 50 get signed.
The first 50 signed. It's not that many. There's about a dozen signed. It's about 12 signed, Leon. Good question. I think it's about 12 signed. Old Victor's a bit shy. He wasn't keen.
All at the start, random-wise.
No, the first people in will get the signed ones, alright? That's the first way to do it. Alright, always full of good ideas. They watch YouTube and they know all these things about merchandising and stuff. But it's just about... the only fair way I can think of doing it, I've only got a few signed copies. So those people who say do the Patreon or help on projects, typists, those who do some typing, they definitely go top of the queue. It's not just about cash. If you haven't got money, don't worry about it. It's only £3. And if you want to pay that, some typing or help or videos, send some films through, footage, great. Everyone's welcome everywhere. Everyone's welcome. It's great. It's one big happy club. And now you throw my thing now, because there's another thing. Oh yeah, the volunteers. So 3 things. All right. So please try and remember these 3 things we're looking for are... That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use the end of this book. I'm going to write something there. Start a new... Alright, so, as you can't see me. So it's 1, orders of St. Patrick identified. God, it's like going back to 2. We've got, I'm going to spell this. Goith, something like that. I can never say it. But 3. Help with typing, please.
They won't actually see that at the moment, Daddy, by the way.
Yeah, they will. Help with typing, please.
I haven't seen it.
Don't worry, it's a lag. You'll get to you. Help with typing, please. Information and pics of...
Yeah. I don't know what happened.
Well, it's gone completely black now.
You haven't pressed
I haven't pressed anything.
You pressed the numbers, that's why.
Oh, you've got numbers. You're not supposed to on numbers, you muppet. You're supposed to...
Daddy, you did that.
No, I do it on the F12s. I don't do it on 1-2.
No, that's the...
You've done the wrong keybinds.
The F's are the pause and record, and the 1-2 are the other things.
Blast.
That's completely bad.
You know I say nothing else can go wrong. You just did, didn't it? Oh dear. What would I do with you or without you, Liam? Alright, yeah, good night everyone. Yeah, it's getting a bit late. I will put it down. Information of pics in Australia, Australian hieroglyphs, please. If anyone can help me with that. Emails are flooding in, are they? Great. Okay. Well, I got 13 emails already, so thank you, folks. Much appreciated. And then, yeah, any info... Oh. Any info on New Zed's... What was it? Visitor story, I guess. Ancient visitors. Or maybe Tonga... I think it's might to be Tonga or Fiji, but there we are. Every other time I've checked Alan Wilson's work, they're always right, aren't they? I'm always wrong, but I've got to keep trying. It's not a cult we just blindly follow, all right? We test, we find out, we add, we find new things. Whew! Okay, so everyone, there we are. Email already said, thank you, Chris Wood, another volunteer. There we go, you telling me on here, thank you. I can see a black cat sleeping at midnight in a dark room. Yes, yeah, yes, I'm sorry about that. Good night, sleep safe. Oh my goodness, well thanks for your patience. I mean, I hope everyone's not been too disastrous. There's so much, there are loads of people watching, it's brilliant, thank you very much indeed. And there's loads more stuff to report back, so don't miss Sunday, alright? I've got new videos, new pictures, new ideas, new projects, stacks and stacks. It's a really exciting time to be part of Britain's Hidden History. And it's like double bonus when we get in there. I just want to, I just want to say, no star, Patricia, diolch yn fawr. I'm a CADW. And it's, I really want to emphasise, I can't overemphasise, I want to say it again and again and again. This is not my channel or my project. It's nothing like that at all. It's called Britain's Hidden History for a reason, and the reasons are it's been going on for a long, long time. Alan and Barham started doing this, I'm not sure it's late 70s even, but definitely by the 80s. And you got to remember, that's like almost 40 years ago now. They've been doing this a long time. You can do the music for us, Liam. He's going to sing the closing music. Because I didn't even touch music now. No, I didn't. Then you got the Lee Penton making videos. Alan Wilson was doing speaking tours in America back in the 90s. This thing really, really got going. And one of the things which is, I'm hoping Lee Penton will tell me more about, and I can even do an interview. Actually, he's a wonderful person, and I'd love to have him on the show as a guest via America or however we can do it on screen. Benny, I really need that help. Because it seemed to be, for a while, that this side of history was winning, you know? It was actually coming through. There was the books are coming out at the time. The Kentucky Historical Association was really looking at, and had professors and important people looking at this idea of things like Bat Creek Cave being Colburn Welsh writing, and there's lots of evidence for it. And then, sadly, despite the efforts of people like Lee, it seems to have gone back, and I think we just about caught it in time. Another few years, heaven forbid, we no longer have people like Alan, and that this could have gone forever. We could have lost this history. It was that close. That close. I think it was that close to going forever when when Alan picked up with this back in the day. It was almost gone forever. It was only because of his generation and special circumstances and incredible brain that we managed to hang on to it then, and we've almost lost it again. So please, it's crucial that we keep this energy going now and really get this going. Okay? So thanks for bearing with me. Difficult circumstances. Don't forget to go out, as we're about to do, and have a look at Mars and see if we can see the other planets as well. And really appreciate everyone for staying with it.
Mars, I want to see Mars.
Want to see Mars? You told a Mars bar. That's not the stuff. I don't know Mars bars. We're about planets now, okay?
We should go to shopping and get Mars.
You just past your bedtime, sunshine. So, and don't forget, I'll be doing another video on how to play Goith Bull. And I reckon we should have a little tournament or something. Oh, I don't know. I'm not going to attempt that. I can't do technical things, I've decided. We'll have to do it when the world's back to something like normal and we can all meet somewhere and have a wonderful time and have some conferences and stuff. Okay, I really am going to sign off now. The trouble is, if I do the music now, everyone's going to see me doing the music folder thing.
Oh, no, it could look bad.
It's going to look bad. I'm not sure it could look worse. I know where the music is. It's not my computer, is it? It's Mummy's computer. Oh, no, Mummy could have saved it anyway, couldn't she?
Yeah.
Oh, hang on. Newcastle, October 2021. So that's a nice little picture of Alan to finish then. Here we are. It's a little picture of Alan. There we go. There we go. There he is, as of a week ago, I guess. There we are. He's looking for... I've ladled that marmalade on a bit. Sorry. I've ladled that. Oh yeah, I put it black screen so you couldn't see me fiddling with the folders. there you go. I don't know why the American flag is there. But there's the great man, as we all call him.
Eagle, that's right.
Yeah, that's the American one. I don't know why the American one's there. Leon, why isn't this on screen?
I have no idea.
Well, you have to have an idea. You're the one who knows.
That's why,
Scene 2, there we go.
I think it's, I don't know.
There is a picture of Alan Wilson coming up. If you stay with it. Hey, there it is. All right. So I think as people have been so patient and good. Have there got any more pictures there? Yeah, there's me and Alan. 2 meters apart. All right. Yeah, you can see my... Yeah, I haven't shaved or anything.
That's a big house.
Whoop. Let's go back that way. Yeah, it's a very big house. Very big room as well. All right. So here's Alan. He was in sparkling form. We had a great time. There he is telling me again. Probably how stupid I am. And I've got something wrong. So lots of new stuff. Lots of new products. I'm really going to go now. So North Star, thanks for bearing with me. And we'll try and do better on Sunday. I'm back to the PC repair shop tomorrow morning. All right. So take care all. You're going to sing the music, Leon. Ba 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 ba. La da da dee 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 dee. Which song are you playing? Da 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 da. Dong dong dong.